I would just let go of that belt. It's disgusting. I mean, I told my son to be a real man.
It's not a good look. It doesn't look well. I mean, it's a turnoff. It gets everybody like kind of in a sense, turns everybody.
I had heard is that this drug is not detectable in blood, that it's a drug that's detectable in urine.
And they have in a new test, right? The test
Is it a new test?
From what I heard too is the USADA is.
You go caught taking drugs, here's your charge. It's like fucking murder. If you fucking...
Imagine preparing for the biggest night of your life, only to have your name become synonymous with a banned substance. The Nevada Commission's confirmation was a detonation. Immediately, the narrative shifted from tactical breakdowns to moral condemnation. Veterans of the sport are not holding back. Carl Frampton, voicing the fury of many, branded it horrible, demanding lifetime bans for anyone compromising the sanctity of a sport where lives are on the line. This is a matter of life and death, not just wins and losses. The fallout is a spectacle of brutal honesty. Teofimo Lopez Sr. launched a scathing attack, publicly eviscerating Stevenson's credibility and questioning why a fighter with a failed test still receives admiration. It's a character assassination.
They like this kid a lot, man. No matter what they saying or whatever it is, he has steroids.
Jobbed. When I got jobbed, I didn't do it. I just got back, took care of my hold, and we came back and conquered. That's all you got to do. That's how you earn your respect and how you stay in the.
They should, everybody who gets caught taking drugs should get a fucking 10-year ban, man. Fuck everybody. I don't understand why we have to fucking footsie.
The British Boxing Board of Control aren't. So we have to speak with them, deal with the legal situation and see where it lands. And this is quite fresh. Obviously, I don't even think it's 30 minutes. I think it's more like 10 or 15 minutes since that. And, we'll see what role.
You know what is the absolute liberty about all of this is the way that he, after he failed that test on Monday, texts me, texts you, to say, I swear I've not taken anything. This is sabotage. This is just the system against me. Fuck off. It's an absolute, you know what, it makes me sick.
Framing Stevenson not as a warrior, but as a cheater who hasn't earned his place. Contrast this with Lopez's own path. After a disputed loss, he speaks of coming back through hard work and health, the correct way to reclaim respect. This comparison paints Stevenson's situation as the ultimate shortcut, a stain on honor. Behind the scenes, the chaos is palpable. Promoter Eddie Hearn describes a tense, unfolding legal situation, with governing bodies yet to act. The fight hangs by a thread, trapped between protocol and public outrage. Meanwhile, shocking details emerge. Reports suggest Stevenson was utilizing a complex regimen of over a dozen different supplements. In the razor-sharp world of anti-doping, this is a minefield. Each pill, each powder is a potential trapdoor. When both the A and B samples come back positive, as analyst Duke McKenzie stressed, the door on excuses is slammed shut. How can both be wrong?
And we're still gonna let him fight. Still was gonna let him fight.
Dillian White fought after he tested.
Who? Dillian White. After testing positive, I didn't even know that. Bro, he's a snake, bro.
Out there, if depending on the amount, that will depend on how long it remains in your system. So, from what I can gather, if you've taken, very limited amounts, very little amounts, it could stay in your system. Depending on the nature of the test, if it was a saliva test, if it was a urine test, if it was a hair test, it's going to stay in your system a lot longer. But
no, it stays for 2 weeks. I don't know, why would you take it knowing there's a possibility that it's going to be in your system? And why would you take it for our sport anyway?
When any fighter fails a performance-enhancing drug test, it is incredibly shocking and disappointing.
By what it is, recreational drugs, cocaine, you just go, how has that got in your system? It's got some explaining to do for one, and you think with what you had on the line and with what what was coming up for you and the opponent you had in front of you, you just go like cocaine in your system.
The course of condemnation is deafening. Derek Chisora calls for a definitive, brutal solution, a 10-year ban for any drug cheat, no exceptions. Johnny Nelson asks the obvious damning question about judgment. Why risk it all? Spencer Oliver expresses sheer disbelief at the specific substance, highlighting the reckless absurdity of endangering a career for a momentary high. This collective fury underscores a universal truth in boxing. Your reputation is your armor, and Stevenson's has been pierced. Now, the psychological warfare is absolute. Stevenson must walk to the ring carrying the weight of suspicion. Every slick evasion, every sharp counter will be scrutinized under a new, cynical light.
And I'll wait and see what happens. I mean, I don't know the findings. We don't know. I haven't seen statements really. I don't know. It's come out in the social media.
I didn't do that when I got jobbed. When I got jobbed, I didn't do it. I just got back, took care of my hold, and we came back and conquered. That's all you got to do. That's how you earn your respect and how you stay in the people's eye.
What? It's not that it's bad, it's frightening. But listen, this isn't boxing as a sport, this is the circus.
I've watched Deontay Wilder's. I've been ringside for 2 of Deontay Wilder's last 3 fights. I watched the last fight. He's not in his prime. I mean, he is...
How can he give a sample and then a B sample and they both come back positive for a banned substance? It doesn't make any sense.
His opponent now faces a different man, one backed into a corner, fighting for survival beyond the scorecards. This transforms a sporting contest into a morbid drama, what Tony Bellew rightly called a frightening circus for the sport's image. For Shakur Stevenson, this is the final bell on innocence. His phenomenal skill is now shrouded in doubt. The question is no longer just if he can win, but if anything he does in that ring will ever be viewed as genuine again. He must conquer more than an opponent. He must conquer a pervasive narrative of deception. The world is watching, and trust is the hardest opponent to knock out. Where do you stand on this crisis? Should athletes get a second chance after failing a drug test? Or is a zero-tolerance policy the only way to save boxing's soul? Debate your stance in the comments below. For more hard-hitting analysis on the fights and the fires that surround them, subscribe now. The story is just getting started.